Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again with an update in the end game for the Melee Frenzy Trickster using the Rakiata's Dance Sword, which, like I said, pretty versatile, could be done with just about any build, skill, whatever. But my version is Frenzy, using Frenzy stacking with Ice Bite and a Trickster. And it's gone all the way. As of now, we've taken down all of the Uber bosses, did several Sanctums, did a Simulacrum up to wave 29, which indicates 30 waves is possible, but, you know, some stuff happened, and not very good for those last few waves, but is what it is. And then ultimately we are still a melee character for the Ubers, so it's not really good in that sense for a lot of the fights. But I'll go over them individually and also have a full Maven kill for you at the end of it. But to sum up, the character felt really good during mapping, got to level 95, it was very smooth. The evasion plus ghost dance defensiveness is pretty damn thick, with some fortify as well, I guess, and a bunch of instant leech and all that. Freeze comes in clutch quite handily for a lot of content, especially Sanctum, and Val Smite helps you clear huge packs, so you don't really feel like you're missing out on much bigger AoE style skills while using Frenzy. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the setup, but it's quite possible you could do a lot better with some other skills or maybe even other ascendancies. The sword itself is pretty versatile, and like I said, you should probably just build into it with the knowledge that you don't need to really care about penetration or resist scaling in any way, so then you can focus on other things. And it doesn't really have to be Frenzy scaling or Ice Bite by any means. You can probably have a look at lots of other people's examples for what they're doing with this sword in a similar fashion. So Sanctum was really nice, even though, you know, melee is supposed to be bad for Sanctum. It is, just because it starts out on a back foot compared to ranged or totem builds, etc. But once you get a melee character up to a good level of damage, movement, attack speed, and some freeze even if you can really get it, then Sanctum comes pretty decent. So I did end up doing like a few 83 Sanctums, and that is quite profitable. Like, they cost 20C or some shit, and if you can reliably finish them, which probably can on this character, you know, even with the worst rolls of Sanctum, it gets pretty bad just because you're not getting any boons and you're not getting anything good going for you. It's still doable, I think, at the end of the day, and it is usually still profitable. Just finishing a Sanctum at 83 level usually yields 1 or 2 divines, so that's honestly where more of my money comes from than anything else, like bossing wise and all that. So after doing the entire day of Ubering and stuff, I basically got almost nothing from the Ubers themselves, and just some money from regular bossing and regular stuff like Sanctum and mapping strong boxes, and some in some lucky corrupts from various random items, and what else? Simulacrum, some cards. Yeah, so the actual Ubering, I reiterate, as before, is really not important. Measuring your character up against Ubers means ultimately nothing. It's taken about 3 weeks now for me to even try Ubers on this league, and it made me no money when it happened. It's just a final test piece for characters that you feel can go the distance. Other than that, it really shouldn't matter too much. And yeah, this is where it starts. So Uber Shaper is a difficult fight for melee. So let me just say, all of these fights are difficult fights for melee. Like, melee, once again, on a back foot when it comes to most content, and especially when we're talking really pushing it to the limits. Ubers push you to the limits, and as such, for a melee build to succeed, you need really good damage or really good defenses, and then a lot of willpower to do the fight. But it's usually just really good damage, and then also the ability to do the fights. Like, you need to know the mechanics of the fights. This is a feared, which isn't quite Uber, but I did it as an 80 quantity one, and The nice thing is if they're immune to leech, you can respec your leech node for your leech mastery for more damage against unleachable enemies. But other than that, it's obviously a terrible thing not being able to leech. Regardless, I was going to say for the Ubers, you don't shouldn't expect to walk in with a melee build and do very well at it, especially for your first time. I think the only reason I can kind of do most of these Ubers as a melee class is because I've already learnt the fights. If I were to walk in here without having learnt the fights with a character like this, it would take me several attempts on every single Uber to get them down, as opposed to my first try with maybe a death or two. Even some of them are still going to take a lot. So Searing Exarch took me 3 invitations. Uber Elder here took 1 go, maybe a death or 2, but it's because I'm pretty in tune with the fight. If I wasn't, then melee is a huge uphill battle. The main reason is that you have very little uptime against these fights as melee. For my almost 10 million DPS, I think, a 1 million DPS Stormbrand character is probably doing about the same level of clearing of the zone, because it is like 100% uptime and you are playing relatively safe. Whereas melee, of course, requires you to pick your moments when you attack, and the Ubers do not give you many moments when you can attack. And ultimately, when you try and attack, you are usually putting yourself in harm's way as well. So Uber Cirrus actually went really well. I didn't actually think I would be doing the fight in its entirety on this character. I thought it'd be very difficult because of the degen puddles. My character has pretty good defenses in terms of hit-based defenses, thanks to the evasion, thanks to my recovery, thanks to Ghost Shrouds. I'm pretty confident in taking most regular hits, but degens and damage over times, stuff like that, really bad for this type of build, and as such, I thought Cirrus would just go awfully. It did in the end, but up till the first 3 phases and then most of the last phase, didn't die and went pretty clean. Ran out of flasks and everything here, just had nothing left, but ended up getting him down with a couple more deaths. So that was actually pretty surprising. Searing Exarch was the hardest one in the end. Usually Searing Exarch for me is kind of a brute force, have enough DPS to skip some phases type of situation. I don't quite have enough DPS for that, so I did have to play the game, and I'm not particularly good at this ball phase, simply because it's just too chaotic. Like, I think on a regular one I'm not too bad, but the Uber ones, it is very chaotic. End up getting hit, end up dying. This is one of my better attempts at a ball phase, but usually it's a death and then have to run back in. Luckily, we play Fun Core and you can do that, run back in, but yeah, it's still usually just a bit of a Zerg fest. Got him down in like 3 invitations or something, made nothing for it. Once again, the bossing, the Ubering, it's just a very high roll situation. If you get lucky, you're going to make money. If you don't, you're going to be losing a lot. But it's all just for the fun of the challenge. And then Simulacrum got up to about wave 29, and then ended up dying a couple times. So Simulacrum can actually be decent, because if they've got plus lightning or cold res, then we actually do more damage. But most other mods really do suck. And yeah, it's doable, but still not super worth doing, unless your character is really good at Simulacrum. And this one was just okay. Almost wave 30. Probably could do wave 30, but wouldn't really recommend it. And then we've got Uber Maven. This was a one and done sort of situation. I'd like to think I'm pretty decent at the fight, but could still be better. So you can go ahead and watch what the mechanics look like and what it looks like on a melee character. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed Rakiata's dance build and can appreciate the versatility of the weapon. And I'll see you guys next time. A bit of a sketch, because I think it's going to be dependent on flasks to a decent extent. Yeah, this is more what I'm worried about. dot damage and shit. Because we're not good at that. Dude. I have to pop flasks on that crash just to finish it off. Okay, so that was almost one shot. Oh god. Finish her? Okay. Oh what? Fuck, she didn't die? What the fuck? That almost went terribly. It's a little too loud. I think I need some dialogue for him. That's better. I was barely hearing the cues. Oh shit, what the fuck's petrified me? Oh, this guy. Okay.
My irritation is growing. It will not be an escape.
That was so close to just being terrible.
Stand still. Take this. Do what I say. Death will not be an escape.
No. Fine.
Stop resisting.
Super chillin'. This is fine. Deathless seems unlikely. The last phase is gonna be so hard. Trying to farm some flasks right now. Dude, what are these bosses for my ES? Last phase easier, spoken like a non-melee player. Man, man's probably never meleeed in his life. Smite Zerker. Yeah, like I said, non-melee. Smite. Falling Smite melee. Nice one, dude.
Scurry,
Playing
scurry.
cheese Zerker Ascendancy. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stalling. Okay.
Take this. Stand still. A cascade of pain. Stand still.
It's fine.
Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry.
Was it down again now? Oh, thank God.
Do what I say. Stand still.
Caretaker, to me.
Flawless victory! Huge rewards.
We must enjoy our contests, for it continues to play. You and I should do this again soon.
Death HC SSF HC viable. Uber Maven, dude. That's how easy that shit is. Just walk in there and fucking do it. With a melee frenzy Trickster.